Well, thank you to the moderator, Mr. Eddie Suresh, and the panelists for a substantive discussion. Thank you. They are, Mr. Shamil Jahangir Ali, Ms. Marian Dang, Mr. Aaron Saw, and Mr. S.J. Shankar. Thank you very much for a very, very fruitful and a very good, interesting discussion on Mission Possible. Behind the challenges are sustainability opportunities real? And thank you for all the questions that came in from the participants, and keep questions coming in for all the upcoming panel sessions, and of course the fireside sessions which we will have throughout today's event. Right, it's 11:30, time to move into the next session, which is the second keynote address. Now, we've talked about SME a lot throughout this event. Of course, this event is dedicated for SMEs, SME SDG Festival 2021. And let's get the perspective from SME Corp Malaysia on building SME sustainability as a competitive advantage. The speaker for this session is the Chief Executive Officer of SME Corporation Malaysia. One of his primary responsibilities is to plan, implement, monitor, and value-add strategic SME development programs aligning with the 12th Malaysian Plan, National Entrepreneurship Policy 2030, and Shared Prosperity Vision 2030, which will ultimately increase Malaysia's GDP, exports, and job creation. So to deliver the second keynote address, without further ado, titled Building SME Sustainability as a Competitive Advantage, please welcome the Chief Executive Officer of SME Corp Malaysia, Mr. Rizal Nainy. Over to you, Mr. Rizal.
Thank you, Mr. Rahim. Mr. Farouz Nadar, Executive Director, Global Compact Network Malaysia, distinguished speakers and guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning, everyone. It is my great pleasure and honor to address you at this prestigious SME SDG Festival. The event's theme of Digital Sustainability Festival for Malaysian MSMEs is fitting as Malaysia ages towards the endemic phase of COVID-19. The COVID-19 crisis has transformed how we think about our economies and our society, and brought into sharp focus the need to build resilient, sustainable, and inclusive systems underpinned by technology, especially in relation to SMEs, the backbone of Malaysia's economy. There is no returning to the old normal, especially with indications that COVID-19 is likely to be followed by other disruptive change, such as new technologies, trade tensions, as well as climate and social change. COVID-19 was a harsh reminder of the economic and social damage that comes with being unprepared. Globally, SMEs have shown a sharp drop in revenue from outset of the crisis. According to more than 180 surveys among the SMEs in 32 countries that the OECD monitored since February 2020, 70 to 80% of SMEs experienced a serious drop in revenues. Several surveys indicate this drop in revenue to be between 30 to 50%. And in Malaysia, based on the survey on SME situation in the wake of COVID-19, which was first conducted during the initial containment period, or better known in Malaysia as the Movement Control Order, a shocking 95.3% respondents experienced an immediate and substantial drop in sales in March 2020, of which 44% of respondents cited their sales have declined to more than 70%. Of the rest, 21.6% reported a decline in sales within 51 to 70%, while 29.7% experienced a loss of 50% or less in sales. Only 1.7% reported an increase in sales, particularly among the food and beverages related industries, while 3.1% reported no significant difference in sales. The International Trade Center, in its outlook on SME competitiveness 2020 report, highlights 4 key features SME would need to survive in the post-pandemic world, namely sustainability, resilience, inclusiveness, and digitalization. However, in the midst of every crisis lies great opportunity. As the world gradually recovers from the pandemic, SME businesses can and must rebuild in a way that prepares them for future shocks and strengthen their competitive position. As we can see, the COVID-19 crisis gave a big push to SME digitalization, and those that were already operating online or have been able to adapt products and processes to the digital world on short notice have been more likely to sustain activities and revenues amidst the turmoil. In Malaysia, online presence among SMEs have doubled from 35.3% to 75.8% that was recorded earlier in 2019 and the later recorded in 2021 post-COVID. In addition, the e-commerce adoption to have shown gradual increase from 27.8% to 37.9% recently, supported by various initiatives by the government. Throughout the pandemic, the Malaysian government has also placed a special emphasis on the needs of SMEs into various facets of stimulus packages to help ease their burdens during the pandemic. Since March 2020, a total of 188.14 billion ringgit has been allocated to assist SMEs in weathering the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. The measures have been and are being implemented through 10 comprehensive economic packages, namely Prihatin, Prihatin SME, Penjana, Kita Prihatin, Budget 2021, Permai, Permakasa, Permakasa Plus, Pemulih, and Budget 2022. COVID-19 crisis has also pushed sustainability issues into the spotlight as environmental concerns continue to rise, especially with evidence suggesting that the next crisis may emerge from climate change, which was ranked as the top global business risk in a 2019 survey of insurance industry experts. Climate change will alter our planet, which may cause extreme weather events like tropical storms, wildfires, severe droughts, and heat waves. Hence, the drive to build back better that SMEs need to focus on is sustainability of their businesses, and sustainability in business entails a long-term entrepreneurial journey that will take them through many evolutions of business ideas, innovations, and creativity. This is a window of opportunity that should be taken by businesses to demonstrate leadership in transforming business models, operations, and even influence value chains by sourcing responsibly and addressing environmental issues, which is essential to achieve green growth while sustaining development. Thus, business will prosper with green growth as they will always have the edge in the global market, and they can take their stride to stay ahead of their competitors in ever-challenging and competitive business environment. Ladies and gentlemen, COVID-19 showed that people can adapt if they know what to do, such as wear masks, observe physical distance, or stay at home. Businesses will adapt if they are aware of risk and know the path to build resilience. SMEs need timely, accurate, and clear information on the potential effects of climate change and of the shifts in consumption, production, and trade that are emerging in response. This is where I would like to say aligning SMEs to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals is highly important. There are 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which include good health and well-being, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, responsible consumption and production, and partnership to achieve the goal. Many companies have some form of sustainability program in place. However, many also lack deeper consideration as to how sustainability can enhance a company's business model. What does it take to transform sustainability into comparative advantage? Here is where we have to provide the guidance to the SMEs for the formulation of strategies to achieve the appropriate goals, which can be their inspirations towards improving business processes. It is imperative that specific social and environmental impacts of their operations and products need to be integrated into strategies employed. This will bring about long-term business benefits and uplifting the corporate image. I urge our entrepreneurs from SMEs to large firms to incorporate the Sustainable Development Goals criteria in their transformation plan and to unite behind the United Nations Global Compact's call to action, which is to scale business impact with sustainability at its core as the way forward. Apart from the sustainable development, our national environment agenda has been embodied in the 12th Malaysia Plan, which will focus on accelerating green growth. This includes strategies to move towards a low carbon nation and accelerating transition to the circular economy where businesses, especially SMEs, will be encouraged to adopt the circular economy concept in the design, production, logistics, consumption, and waste management of products and services. The 5-year plan set the strategic direction of the nation with specific attention on reviving the economy and a fairer distribution of prosperity while also ensuring environmental sustainability. This was further supported by our recent budget 2022, which focused on moving towards developing and implementing environmentally friendly projects such as providing support and assistance to SME to improve their sustainable and low carbon practices in their businesses. The transition to sustainable practices is a challenge and an opportunity for the SMEs to strengthen their competitiveness and resilience. Adopting sustainable practices is not only about businesses being good, but also about good business. The following 5 factors drive the SME business case for going green. The first factor is increased resilience. Targeted investment that boosts business ability to cope with the impact of global warming can actually improve competitiveness. Second factor on cost reduction and higher productivity. Lower cost and higher productivity are some of the most convincing reasons for green SME investments, as production processes that use fewer resources, lower input costs, and improve profit margins. The third factor is on compliance with climate regulations. As more governments adopt policies to address the climate challenge, many SMEs are adjusting their practices for compliance or to stay ahead of the curve. And the fourth factor is access to markets. Environmental products, services, and processes can propel small businesses toward greater revenue. Given growing demand for sustainability, many SMEs are greening their operations to maintain or access markets. And last but not least, the fifth factor is on eligibility for green financing. Financial institutions increasingly include sustainability criteria into their decision-making. SMEs that prepare shovel-ready climate mitigation or adaptation projects can be first in line to access funds from eager investors. Ladies and gentlemen, SMEs must align their thinking and integrate sustainability into their core values. They can drive long-term value creation by developing business models to manage the economic, social, and environmental dimensions in a balanced manner. All businesses and stakeholders along various global value chains have to share the responsibility and accountability related to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, which is vital in meeting the country's Sustainable Development Agenda. I am proud to say that SME Corp Malaysia has collaborated with United Nations Global Compact Network Malaysia and Brunei since 2020 through various programs that focus on strengthening the Sustainable Development Agenda for SMEs in Malaysia. These include the organization of the Go ESG ASEAN Corporate Sustainability Virtual Summit 2020 and the provision of the SME SDG Toolkit. SME Corp Malaysia and United Nations Global Compact Network Malaysia and Brunei have taken the initiative by establishing an action center for sustainable development of SMEs, a short form of SS, a dedicated SME sustainability action platform providing sustainability-related assistance such as capacity building, e-learning modules, and network expansion opportunities. Finally, I would like to extend my appreciation to the organizer, United Nations Global Compact Network Malaysia, for inviting me to deliver the keynote remarks. I would also like to express my warm appreciation to all supporting partners for making this event a success. I wish everyone a fruitful and prolific sessions ahead. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.